क्या backstory थी? What were the challenges on playing Jyoti as a character?
The story it's really about the animal character,
Yeah.
which is Ranbir, and then everybody else, the way they respond to him. So I think Jyoti was meant to be like sort of the voice of reason. Ranbir is a very versatile actor. He's a dream for anyone to work with. He's so professional.
Off screen कैसा होता था during the shoot days? How was it with the entire crew?
Scenes were all very intense. I don't think there was a single scene in the film which was light and, chilled. Everything was like, hi, this is Charu Shankar and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Welcome to Bollywood Hungama, guys. My name is Urmin. It's been 3 weeks since Animal has released. 800 plus crore worldwide.
Yes.
इसने कमा लिया है and the woman who's so excited about it. Of course, यार. मतलब बेटी की खुशी में माँ की खुशी रहती है. Yes, the woman who's played Ranbir Kapoor's mom on Animal. Hi, Charu. How are you doing? Charu Shankar हमारे साथ.
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you, Charu. I want to tell you this, that we have almost interviewed everybody possible.
I know.
And I'm glad that you're also part of this,
Yes.
this interview session.
Yes.
How does it feel?
I'm really excited actually. Since the film released, it's been crazy, and a lot of people I've spoken a lot about the film, but I've been shooting non-stop, and today is the first day that I got to actually talk to somebody in person. So this is the first interview that I've been able to do, and I'm very glad it's with you.
I'm glad too. For those of y'all who are watching this interview, मैं बताना चाहूँगी that Charu is not just an actor. She's a performer, she's a dancer, she's been a television host, and most importantly, a fitness instructor.
Yeah.
So इतनी सारी चीज़ों में फिल्म्स करेंगे आप, ये भी लिस्ट में था?
बिल्कुल नहीं था. I am here entirely by accident. I never planned to be a film actress.
Okay.
Never. I never thought of myself in that way ever. I think I always was sure that I wanted to be part of the creative industry. And school में मैं बहुत drama करती थी. मतलब not life वाला drama, like actual stage drama. और डांस और म्यूज़िक सीखा हुआ भी है, परफॉर्म भी बहुत करती थी स्कूल में, कॉलेज में तो और ज़्यादा, बिकॉज दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में बहुत होता है, बहुत शौक से करते हैं सब लोग. सो आई वाज वेरी मच पार्ट ऑफ द ड्रामेटिक सोसाइटी, द डांस सोसाइटी, द म्यूजिक सोसाइटी. सो आई थिंक nobody was really surprised when I went pro with it.
Yeah.
But films was actually just never something that I had on my mind. I was always very interested in theatre and Broadway, like that kind of stuff. Films just happened. 2007 में Wes Anderson was in India and he was making a film called The Darjeeling Limited, and I got a call saying that would you send in some photographs. मेरे पास photographs भी नहीं थी, at that time. There were no phones, nothing, and I got some friend or someone took a few pictures and just they reached him and he said, yeah, let's get her. And Wes Anderson, right? And I was like,
It's huge.
okay. And I was in a scene with Owen Wilson, Adrian Brody, and Wes Anderson's directing. And that scene is the last scene of that film. So my name went into the cast, and that's really how I came into this industry.
What a wonderful story, and that's
It was entirely by accident. I had no idea about anything.
in fact, we love the fact that you are a face that we have seen in so many projects. चाहे वो ad films हो, चाहे वो OTT हो, television हो, and then to see you with this one film which is Animal. हालांकि आपके और रणबीर कपूर के एज में बस 1 साल का डिफरेंस है, right?
Yes, it has been talked about a lot. I know. Yeah, we are only 1 year apart. That is true.
So 2 questions.
Yes.
It's part A, part B. Part A, how were you approached? And part B, what made you say yes?
Okay, I'll say part B first. Okay.
Okay.
Why would I say no? Why would anyone say no to a project, to any project? As an actor, why would I refuse? If an opportunity comes, obviously I'll say yes.
Well,
And this was an opportunity which was a very exciting opportunity. I knew the cast, I knew who the film, when Sandeep narrated the story, I thought it was very interesting, very different. And he told me from the word go, he said, I want you to play a very crucial part in my film. I want you to establish very quickly in the film what the central conflict of the film is. And I was sold on that. I said, yeah, because I understand storytelling, I understand drama. So when he said this to me, I was like, that's amazing. So that's part B. Now let's go to part A.
Great.
What was part A?
Part A was how were you approached for the film?
So Sandeep had seen my work. I never asked him what he had seen, but he had seen my work. And his team called me directly, actually. So it didn't go through a casting.
But I believe that there were about 100 auditions taken, and you were selected for it.
Yes.
When did you come to know about it?
I don't know when he met people. Was it before me or after me? I did get a call very early in 2023 or maybe later part of 2022. And at that time, Sandeep had just announced the film. And there was a very primitive version of a trailer that had been made, which was just the logo of Animal and a voiceover by Ranbir.
Okay.
And it had that dialogue about him and his conflict with his father. It was a very initial trailer. So they sent me this trailer and they said, this is the film we're planning to make. And Sandeep would like to meet you. So I was like, okay, and I live in Delhi. I wasn't in Bombay. So I said, sure, whenever I'm in Bombay next, I would love to meet him. And so when I came to Bombay, I informed his team and they fixed up a meeting and I went to meet him. And I still remember I was wearing jeans and, a kurta and looking like myself. I don't wear much makeup anyway. Shayad thoda kajal, thoda Vaseline, whatever, like tint or something. That's it. And I'm sitting and chilling, with my manager. Both of us had gone and we were sitting on the sofa and talking. I think we had arrived early. And Sandeep walks in and he crosses us and he goes to his office. And then he calls in his AD and says, who's that? So they're like, that's Charu Shankar. You'd ask for a meeting. That's Charu Shankar. Okay. Chalo, call her in. And as soon as I came in, he said, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming all the way. But I have to tell you, you're too young. So I said, okay. But, I'm here now. So, tell me about the film. And he very sweetly narrated the kahani. And he said, this is the role. And it's very important for me in the story कि film में within the first 5 minutes of the film, ये central conflict established हो जाना चाहिए. And you're perfect for that. But then the little boy grows up and becomes Ranbir. Then what do we do? So I looked at him and I said, but Sandeep, I am an actor, actor. Like, I love the craft of acting. I would love to, take this on as a challenge. And FYI, this is what I've done. I had already shot Rocket Boys by then. Yeah. मेरे phone पे me as Indira Gandhi की कुछ तस्वीरें थी. So I showed those to him, and he was like, "Oh, that's you?" It was literally this reaction was what? And I said, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "But," and how did they do this?
Yeah.
So I said, obviously there was a huge team, and we were going for a certain kind of likeness, and he said, maybe this can happen. And then he said, initially I thought maybe I'll have to use 2 actresses, because the film sort of goes through a journey. So in the very initial stages, perhaps he had thought there would be 2 sets of actors who play the family. But then he said, hey, I think maybe we can do this. Anyway, nice to meet you. Thank you. Very nice. Bye-bye. 6 months, I heard nothing.
Yeah.
And I believe he met many people for this role. And 6 months later, I get a call saying, you've been finalized.
Wow.
And then Sandeep called me that very day and he said, thank you for saying yes. Because I met so many people. I met hundreds and hundreds of actors for this role. I never forgot how different you looked sitting across the table and how different you looked on the film.
Yes, it's a drastic change, and I think because the film goes through phases, it was important to show that one mom who's the constant in Ranbir's life, who's probably advocating him also in the film the most. आपके लिए लेकिन क्या backstory थी? What were the challenges on playing Jyoti as a character?
The story it's really about the animal character, which is Ranbir. And then everybody else, the way they respond to him. So I think Jyoti was meant to be like sort of the voice of reason. Like I often say, imagine how different the film would be if everybody just listened to Jyoti. You know, here she was in the beginning of the film only telling Balbir, please do this. And you know, and then none of the other stuff would have happened.
वो कहते हैं ना मम्मी हमेशा राइट होती है ये फिल्म में भी अगर इस टेक्निक को इस्तेमाल किया जाता
yeah, so moral of the story, listen to your mother, okay, because it's very important. I hope my son is watching this.
Yes, of course. You've shared screen space with Ranbir and Anil sir. Anil Kapoor ji के बारे में बताइए कैसा था उनके साथ. Did you ever imagine कि at any point of your career, you will be playing wife to Anil Kapoor?
Actually, I did. Because, I'll tell you why. Many years ago, we were supposed to do a project together.
Okay.
Where we were to be a pair. And that project didn't work out.
Achha.
But I had met him and I had done many readings with him. And that project never worked out. And then many years passed. So when I met Anil sir on the set of Animal, I didn't think he would remember, right? It was such a small blip in, it was a major thing in my life, but yeah.
Sure.
But he remembered immediately. So, you know, I was a little nervous and on my first day, obviously. And I walked into the room, you know, shy. And they're very sweet. So Ranbir first came and said, "Hi, I'm Ranbir." And I was like, "I know." and then Anil said, "Hi, I'm Anil." And I said, "Wait a minute. You and I were supposed to do that show together." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe this." And then he turned around and he's like, "Sandeep, did you know this story?" And he, you know, he remembered it. And he told Sandeep, and Sandeep was like, "I have no idea." and the ice just broke after that. And then he looked at me and he said, "Wow, it's like the universe really wanted this to happen." And
this is so good because sometimes, you know, when we get a no from someone, we feel like that's it. But probably there's something better coming, and this is exactly what happened. Maybe.
Yeah, and it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was great fun to be working with him. Anil sir and my not job, but our priority to set the emotional center of the story. From beginning to end, we had to keep that. The fact that this is really about a father and son relationship gone crazy. And so we really worked, with our scenes and just to try and keep that intact. And I think we did, because by the end of the film, so many people have told us that came out true.
Definitely. You know, there was a kind of hope from you that, you know, शायद आप बार-बार बोलेंगे तो Anil Kapoor as a father would understand, and I loved that dynamics that were, you know, shown on screen. ये बताया that off screen कैसा होता था during the shoot days? How was it with the entire crew?
We were buddies, you know, and working together. So the scenes were all very intense. I don't think there was a single scene in the film which was light and, you know, chilled. Everything was like, you know, so we were all like highly wired during the shooting, and then cut, and then we were like,
Who did you get more closest to, if I may say so?
Rashmika. She is a darling, and once she comes into the house and into our lives, then, you know, we had a lot of family scenes where we're just watching the downward curve of the character, right? And we're just watching it, and we're watching it devolve further and further. So we had a lot of scenes together, and we just got along from the word go, and I absolutely adore that girl. She's so full of light.
What about Ranbir Kapoor? I mean, you know, he got introduced in this film as superstar Ranbir Kapoor.
He is.
And he totally is.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about working with him? What do you feel is the reason that defines him as a superstar?
Ranbir is a very versatile actor. He's a dream for anyone to work with. He's so professional. I was there for a long time, right, working with him. I never saw him miss a single line, not one line. And he had pages and pages and pages of, you know, the animal character is so verbose, right? He's constantly justifying his actions in words and everything. So he never missed a single line. He knew his character. He played it with such conviction. This is a difficult story.
Right.
This is a character who is illogical. It's
Yeah.
an animal, so it's a difficult story. It's a difficult character. You have to really submit yourself to the
Right,
story.
right.
Leave yourself far behind and just submit to the story. And not many people can do that, and he did. And I have the fullest respect for him for that. I really like him. There's something very, very likable about him. And of course, the first few days I was like, starstruck, as anyone would be. But he has this quality of putting you so much at ease.
Was it awkward calling him beta?
Was it all? No. No, I don't think so. I think I was just starstruck because the first time he said, let's do lines, and he looked at me and said, Mama, rah, rah, rah. I was like, I've suddenly forgotten everything.
I can totally picture you.
As Jyoti, what I chose to play the character as is unconditional love. So I was approaching the character as, okay, this is one person in his life who is going to give him unconditional love. No matter what he says to me or what he does to me. Yes, he is a difficult man, okay, but we are all bonded to him in bonds of love. And from Jyoti, that's all he gets. So that's what I was channeling the whole time, whatever the lines were.
Since you were getting into the role as a character Jyoti, as the mother of Ranvijay, did you also feel that some of his actions were questionable, just the way people are?
Some?
I'm just putting it in a more.
All his actions are questionable, and they are questioned. If you watch the film, well, first of all, the film is called Animal, so that should be your first clue. If you miss that, then Anil Kapoor, his character, on so many occasions, turns around and tells me, Jyoti, hamara beta criminal hai. So that should be your second clue. And then there are many, many, many more. His family does question him. And they, is trying to figure out, could this be a solution? Could this be a solution? In their own way. They don't applaud his behavior. They're always shocked by it. And the sisters are shocked by it. The father's shocked by it. The mother's shocked.
So apart from Animal, like I said this before, we've seen you on Arya. Oh my God, Arya season 2.
Yeah.
We've seen you in Arya season 2, Rocket Boys. Delhi Crime has been.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite project that that you really enjoyed the most, and you expected it to get a little more weightage as Animal is getting now?
I don't know about that. I think I knew Animal would be big. The fact that it has broken all records is a bonus and a very welcome thing.
Right.
But we knew Animal was going to be a big film. My own personal favorite project, you're saying?
Yes.
I think that would have to be Rocket Boys, Indira Gandhi. That was a very challenging and a very I really enjoyed it.
How long did the aesthetics and everything take?
Many hours. I used to be the first person on the set every day. And the last one to leave because, we were achieving a full likeness there. So, of course, there was the hair and makeup team that did their job, and then the research and the direction team and the camera team. And they all really helped to pitch in, and we really tried to make that character. And also, the way Mrs. Gandhi is portrayed in Rocket Boys, she has a very interesting arc in the show.
What was the kind of research that went for you, to portray Indira Gandhi ji?
I knew I had the role for maybe few months, and so I had some time. So there's so much footage of her.
Yeah.
And so I saw everything that I could get my hands on, but they were mostly public speeches.
Right.
And I didn't quite know what she would have been like in her real life, in her personal interactions, everyday interactions, or interactions with very close people in her family. That was imagination. So that was where I could, just put in my little bits. But she exists in people's memories, right? Like, I remember her. I was very young when she passed away. I still remember her.
Yeah.
She's an icon.
A personality that you cannot
And
forget.
from our parents' generation,
Sure.
people, nobody has forgotten Mrs. Gandhi. So I could not get it wrong. I mean, getting that wrong would have been really bad. I tried to, I got a very interesting direction from the Rocket Boys team, which was that don't copy her style or voice or anything like that. Just imagine what it would be like if you were a woman who had the weight of the country on her shoulders. That's the responsibility you're carrying. Now go for it. Now say your lines.
Wow.
And that was a very interesting direction.
Yeah.
So even Sandeep is a very interesting director in that way. He had a very razor-sharp focus on what his story was. He knew his story inside out. And it's such a different story that I think I could not have imagined it or my own character or doing any of those things without his guidance.
Right.
So he really knew his story inside out. It's a pleasure to work with directors like this. Hi, this is Charu Shankar and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.